lasts a very long time and is very reliable. Well, you've come to your final bus stop. But the thing is that it doesn't come cheap. This is the HP OMEN 16 2022, and being honest, it's a very good laptop. It is just sublime. It is beautiful. And let's get into the review now. All right, so taking it from the top, we'll start with the unboxing, but there's nothing much to say about the unboxing because it's actually just that the box is slim and that's basically it. There's nothing much to say. So let's go into the design. So the design of this laptop is actually nothing short of beautiful. Everything is edgy and sharp. There are no curves, which I actually like. It fits the aesthetic, and it has a metal matte finish on most parts except the back. But then the metal matte finish actually looks really, really nice. If and only if you do not have sweaty fingers. Unlike me, I have sweaty fingers. So keeping this laptop clean and neat is actually the thing to do. And fingerprints are almost everywhere. So if that irks you out, you might have to find a way to maintain it if you actually have to get this laptop. So now, the back of the screen, however, is made of plastic, and then it has this shiny diamond OMEN logo on the back, which has a gradient. It goes from purple to green to yellow, and it skips out red completely, which is actually very odd, honestly, because the gaming color, now the normal gaming color is red. The color that should be gaming is red. So going to the back of the device of the laptop, it has horizontal lines which extend to the entire width of the back, and then it's closed at the middle but then opens at the edges for the fans, for the air to blow out, for the fans to blow the air out. Now at the bottom, the horizontal lines continue for half of the bottom of the laptop, and then it has a mesh net which actually just collects dust rather than the dust settling on the fans and then reducing the efficiency of the fans. And it makes it easier for you to clean, I guess, because the dust is now on the back of the laptop, on the bottom of the laptop, not on the fan, so you don't have to open it up to clean it. So that's a good thing. At the bottom of the laptop, there is this raised horizontal bar, both at the upper end and at the lower end. These both serve as a way to raise the laptop up, which helps to allow the laptop to pull in more air, allows the laptop fans pull in more air to cool the laptop, and also to give the laptop at least this slopey feel, if not flat. Because looking at the keyboard area is actually kind of sunk in because the touchpad area is a bit raised, and I'm assuming because of the battery, because it's only the battery that is there. There's nothing else. The battery and then the touchpad, and then the speakers at the edges, but majorly the battery. So basically, the keyboard will be kind of sunken, and then it's actually kind of weird to be typing in like this when you're typing when you're using the computer. So it's best when it's like sloped up. When the keyboard is sloped up, where the keys farthest from you are higher than the keys closest to you. It just makes typing easier for me. To make everything make more sense, there are raised bumps at the edges of the keyboard area to help support the screen when it's closed. The keyboard layout is actually simple and nice, and I did not know that I would value having the power button as the power of the keyboard as much as I do on this laptop. It just kind of gives everything a neat and more minimalistic feel to it. The keys on the keyboard are evenly spaced out, and then the keys are just the right size. They feel good to push, and then they're not too sensitive, and then they're not too hard. You do get normally sized and positioned arrow keys at the cost of the number pad. There are no programmable buttons on this keyboard. You do get the OMEN command center and a calculator, or the calculator on speed dial. The keyboard has RGB for every single key, and that gives you a lot of customizability, but lights are only restricted to the keyboard. The computer weighs about 2.3 kilograms, which is actually decent, and then it feels lighter when I'm using it, so that's like a good sign. And now for the ports, they're all on the sides. There's nothing at the back and there's nothing at the front. So let's go. On the left side, starting from the top, we have the charging port, then the Ethernet port, a USB port that can charge your devices even when the computer is powered off, then which is actually useful sometimes, a mini display port, an HDMI 2.1 port, a Thunderbolt 4 port, and then your headphone jack, and then finally an SD card reader, which is actually necessary for most people, for most photographers and videographers. Now, on the right, you just have two USB-A ports and then the vents for hot air, and that's it. The hinge is lovely. I would say it's not too rigid, it's not too stiff, and then it's not too loose. You can virtually keep the screen in any position and then you just stay there. But I must add that there's a slight bit of wobble when you open up the screen, but I guess that is not uncommon with laptops. Now, moving on to the screen. The screen right here is a 16.1 inches 1440p IPS LCD display with an adjustable refresh rate, meaning you can choose between 60 Hz and then 175 Hz. And it also has a response time for 3 milliseconds. Now, it has what they're calling micro edge bezels, but then it actually just seems normal to me. Like, there's no difference. It just has thin bezels. I don't feel like they should be called micro edge bezels. Anyways, moving on. It has a large chain, and then the bezel at the top is bigger than the bezels at the sides, and I'm assuming that's because of the webcam, the microphone, and then the Wi-Fi antenna. The screen is still honestly very beautiful to look at. Like, it's just really amazing. The blacks are actually black, and then the color also slaps. It makes sense. It makes sense. It's just really, really nice to look at. And it also gets bright at about 300 nits. It is obviously not touchscreen, and it does not support HDR. It has a little screen flick, but not too much. It's actually calm, not too much to raise any alarms. And the webcam is a 720p webcam, and this is what it looks and sounds like. So this is what webcam looks and sounds like in normal conditions, but then when you are back against a bright light source like the window, this is what happens. Your face gets darker. Now let's move on to the performance. First of all, let's run out through all of the specs of this laptop. The CPU is the Intel i7-12700H chip, which has a total of 14 cores, 6 4.7 GHz performance cores, and then 8 3.5 GHz efficiency cores. It has a Cinebench multi-core score of 12,139 and a single core score of 1499. This unit is fitted with 16 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, and it has 2 RAM slots, meaning 8 and 8. It's an SSD for sure, which is 512 gigabytes, and then it does not have space for an optical drive, which was kind of a bummer for me. But then, I mean, the battery took up that space, so like it's like a win-ish. You just have to manage your space properly. For Wi-Fi, you get Wi-Fi 6E, and then the GPU is the RTX 3070. It's a clock speed of 1500 megahertz, and it can be overclocked to 1725 megahertz. But I don't know, that's up to you if you want to do that. And it is rated at 115 watts, when the maximum is 125 watts. But then when HP decides to put in 115 watts into their GPU, and it actually performs nicely. When idle, the temperatures don't go higher than 65 degrees. Fan sounds can actually get intense, but actually gets the job done. When the computer is on and just idle, the fans are virtually non-existent, as it should be. But then occasionally you would actually hear it like, well, just burst out some air, or like just really spin really fast. And I get it just to like get rid of hot air like really, really quick. But then sometimes it seems like it's just like stretching, in the sense that like it's just reminding you, like it's just reminding you that it's like a gaming laptop. It can perform more than what you're giving to it. Like, you know, it can do more than VLC, Netflix, PowerPoint, and then the rest. But anyway, that's just true. I'm just assuming. I don't know. But it does like give out a burst occasionally, right, from time to time. Anyways, when editing video, the fans actually don't make much noise, and it's actually very, very calm for me, which is certainly good. But then after I complete a gaming session, the fans will actually be making a good amount of noise, but not too loud or whining in any situation. And then the keyboard would be hot. But then the keyboard actually cools down very well, very fast because of the fans. And then the metallic body also helps with heat dissipation. And I'll give the fans a 10 out of 10. The cooling and thermals on this laptop are actually very beautiful, so I'll give it a 10 out of 10. No questions asked. It's actually just lovely. You can be assured that your laptop will cool down and can manage heat properly with this laptop. The battery here is an 83 watt-hour battery, which actually lasts for 6.5 hours with 165 Hz at refresh rate. But then it will definitely last longer when it's set to 60 Hz. It has a 230 watt power pack that charges it in less than 2 hours from 0 to 100, which is actually slim, and I actually love it. I kind of like the design. Now, during the charging process, the battery tends to get warm, especially when you're using the laptop. So I'll advise that you do not game when your laptop is actually just charging. You should just let it be fully charged before you start gaming, because your battery life and then heat, they don't really go well together. Battery, like your heat does not exactly improve battery life. It actually heat reduces battery life. So I would suggest that you just try and keep your laptop fully charged when you want to play your games. And as for the game performance on this laptop is actually very decent. It maintains the frame rate it actually starts with, and it's actually very consistent, because I think the fans actually control the thermal load properly, and there's no throttling on this laptop, and you actually keep your decent frame rates as you continue playing games. The speakers here are actually quite loud, and the quality is basically what you expect from any Windows laptop. Tinny audio lacking in bass, but amongst Windows computers, these laptop speakers are actually very, very good. But then when you compare them to MacBooks, you know they don't really stand a chance. You do get a bit of bloatware on this laptop, but then you'd have to download them to use them. So basically, you can just uninstall most of the bloatware just on the start menu, and then you can just delete them straight away from there. It's kind of like a hassle in the beginning. Like it doesn't take much time though. The gaming software here is actually quite useful. It's the OMEN Command Center. It gives you basic information like the basic system vitals, and then you have this network booster which can help you prioritize applications when it comes to bandwidth usage, and then the lightning settings which allows a lot of customizations, a whole lot of customizations. Now the performance controls allow you to manually adjust the fans, and then there's a fan curve which allows you to set this fan speed for each temperature region, either the CPU or the GPU. I don't actually bother with this. I just let the computer run on auto, and then there's the graphics switcher for enabling NVIDIA Optimus. My overview about the app, my judgment about the app, it helps you optimize a lot of it better, and then gives you some customizations. That's great. But then they did not miss the chance to just load you up with a bit more of promotions and like just give an excuse like, yeah, they were putting this here, we're putting that here, buy this, buy that, and that's just basically it. But it's actually a good app, nonetheless. So now this laptop is nothing short of amazing. It is stable, well built, it has an amazing design, and the performance is really good thanks to Intel's chip and NVIDIA's GPU. The fans cool it very, very well, and then it keeps things running properly and smoothly. This is an easy recommendation to anybody who wants a decent gaming laptop that will last a long time and doesn't mind spending on it, because it doesn't exactly come cheap. Check various stores like online, and then the average cost is about $1,700, which is about 800,000 naira. But then your MasterCard doesn't work, so it will cost you about 1.3 million naira. I would definitely recommend this laptop to anybody who needs this type of horsepower and wants the laptop that will stable and then will last for a long time and isn't phased by the price. So if this is you can go for this laptop. It's amazing. You enjoy it. I would love to hear your comments. I would want to hear your comments. That's everything, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.